What's up, everybody? It's Halo, and I'm back with another video. Now, if you are contemplating locking your hair, these are the things that you need to know, okay, before you start your locks. These are the top 5 things. Actually, 6. 6 things you need to know before you start your locks. Let's get into it. And while I'm going over these 6 things, y'all are going to watch me do what I call a braid out on my locks. I love doing these because it stretches my locks, especially since I just washed my hair. I'm going to braid it, and then tomorrow I'm going to take the braids down and they give me that crinkly, curly, cute look. And I'm going to, of course, post the finished product at the end. But let's get into these 6 things you need to know before you lock your hair. Number 1, the density of your hair, which will determine the part size, and your texture will also determine what size lock you need to have. Because I've seen often people doing their hair, the part sizes are too small for the texture of their hair. They have a looser, like a 3 textured hair. And with that kind of hair, it's thinner. And so the heavier it gets, the harder it is on the root of the hair, and then they start to get breakage because of the texture of their hair. I have also seen very dense hair that started locks very small, like a micro lock, and then they have a million locks on their head and the hair is just full and big and heavy. Now, don't get me wrong, all of it is beautiful, right? But you want to have longevity. I know when you start these locks, you're not looking to run into breakage or run into issues or problems, but these are the things you want to take into consideration before you start it. Okay, and the next thing is versatility. You want to make sure that you are set on having locks, right? You can get a palm roll, and that's going to go into our number 3, which is being able to comb them out later by having them palm rolled instead of interlocked. Interlocked, you're more than likely going to have to cut the hair all the way off, right? But with a palm roll, you can actually comb it out. So you just want to make sure that you got your mind set on having these locks. We have so many different styles, so many different options you can do with the locks, right? But I know what it's like, because this is my 3rd time starting my locks. This is my 4th big chop. I know what it's like to want those curls. And so I said the best of both worlds, and I left my ends curly. And so every now and then, of course, I have to go in and comb them out because they ball up at the end and they want to lock up, right? But it is an option for you to keep your ends combed out, so you can have the lock and have the curl and get the best of both worlds. Now, you want to make sure you got that made up in your mind, what you want to do. And if you don't know, then I would suggest sticking to a palm roll, so that later on down the line, I've seen people have locks 10, 20 years and then they comb them out, because the hair is constantly being twisted in the same direction and you just need to detangle it. As far as the interlock goes, it's more like you're putting knots in the hair. And so you're less likely to be able to comb those out. I haven't seen anybody comb out interlocks. That doesn't mean that it's not possible, but I haven't seen that personally. With that being said, we're going into number 3, which is interlock or palm roll, right? So I started out with a palm roll because I love the look of palm rolls. But I also, which is basically just put it in between your hand and literally palm rolling the lock, right? That's what that means. And then I have to switch to interlock because I go to the gym, because I swim, because I don't have time to be palm rolling my hair over and over again, because it's coming undone, right? And it will come undone. And so I figured that interlocking is better for me, and it's better for my lifestyle because of all the things that I do, because I'm sweating, because I'm swimming, because I'm constantly wanting to wash my hair. I love to wash my hair. I love clean hair. I love doing my hair. I love touching my hair. It is a part of who I am. It's just something that I'm obsessed with, which is why I kind of left my ends curly, because I like the curl, I like the lock, and I'm just wishy-washy like that. You never know. 10 years down the line, I might cut my hair off again. You never know, right? But right now, this is the journey and the phase that I'm in. And so I chose interlocking because of my lifestyle and the size of the lock that I have, which are kind of medium, almost micro locked size locks that I have. When it was palm rolled, I had a lot of swelling. They are thicker. They are on the denser side, and so you have a fluffier lock when you palm roll it, versus an interlock, which is more compact because it's almost like putting knots in a string. If you could picture a balloon string, and if you were to take the scissors and go down the string and it curls up, that's what a palm roll would feel like, versus you actually taking the string and putting knots in the string. It would be more compact, it would be more skinny, and honestly, that's more the look that I want, because I feel like it's more pliable. I can do more hairstyles with the locks being tighter like that. And then, of course, in between me having to redo my hair is longer, because with a palm roll, honey, my hair grows super fast, but I would probably have to retwist my hair every month. Versus with this, I can probably go maybe a month and a half to 2 months, depending on the styles that I'm doing. And so you just want to figure out what kind of lock and look do you want. Do you want the puffy kind of thick lock? Do you want the smaller with the smaller parts like what I have? Or do you want a big, thicker lock? And so you just want to figure out what size lock you want first, and then figure out what works best with your texture and your density, and also your hair type. Okay, so the next thing to consider would be self-maintenance, or are you going to a salon? That is important, because are you spending money to get your hair redone, or are you doing it yourself? That's something that you want to take into consideration. Now, these two roll in together, because self-maintenance or a salon, either way, you're going to save money. I know people that spend hundreds of dollars a month, and I mean hundreds, some even thousands a month, or every couple months, to keep their hair up, the maintenance up, versus you doing it yourself or paying somebody to do it, and you don't have to do it again until the next 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how fast your hair grow, depending on what you're doing, if you're sweating, if you're swimming, if you whatever, right? Either way, I feel like having locks is going to save you money. And that's just my personal opinion, because I got the wigs, I've had the silk presses, and honestly, and I do my hair myself. I don't let nobody in my head, but I can imagine that all of the hairstyles and all the things that I have done to my head, actually watching people pay to get these styles done and seeing the amount of money they're paying to get the stuff done. Wow, y'all really be spending y'all money when you can hop on this YouTube and figure out how to do it yourself. You just need the time and the patience. Really, it's just the patience. But once you realize how much money you save in doing your own hair, you would never turn back. But I've been doing my hair since I was 12. I've been doing my mama hair since I was younger than that, and cutting hair since younger than that. And so I get it that it's not in everybody's hands, and a lot of people just don't want to do it, and I get that too. But shoot, if you go into the salon, honey, you still gonna save money, because you ain't got to go back for another 8 weeks. And last but not least, are you confident in what God gave you? The hair that God had let you be born into this world with, growing out of your scalp. Are you okay with it being the way it is? Because a lot of people don't understand, and they frown upon locks, and they frown upon natural hair, and they frown upon all of the things that you were naturally born with. That I can never wrap my head around. You can look at somebody, what you got going on with your head, what you got, da-da-da. You can have an afro, and what you got going on with your afro, you gonna comb your hair, this is how it grows out of my head. Mind you, some dang on business. Okay, I'm trying to stop cussing. All right, and I'm replacing all of my cuss words with mango. So mind you, some mango business. You understand? Do you understand? This is the way the hair grow up out my head, and I mean up literally. Matter of fact, I'm going to plug a picture right here so y'all can see how it used to look. Okay, so this is a puff that I had. I put my hair up. This is a curly style that I had, but you'd be surprised how many people got something to say, especially when you got your afro like right here in this photo. And when I colored my hair, of course, that changed the texture and loosened it up a little bit. But my hair is naturally afro texture like the last photo you just saw. And when I tell you it grows straight up in the air, it grows straight up in the air. So for me to have my locks and they're going down, I'm ecstatic. That is the main thing that you're going to have to worry about, especially if you have a head full of hair. People are going to have something to say. They always are going to have something to say. And most of the time it's because they don't have no hair on their head. And that's just bottom line. I'm like, look, it's my head. I cut my hair because I wanted to cut my hair. I locked my hair because I wanted to lock my hair. It's like, oh, you got all this pretty hair. Why you do? Why you go and do it? Why you want to mind your business? Why don't you worry about the little hair you got on top of your head? Why? Why don't you worry about that? Because this is my head. So you have to be prepared for other people's opinions, and not that you have to give a damn mangoes. Not that you have to give a mango, right? But I'm saying be prepared for it, because other people's opinions are going to come with your lifestyle change, because that's really what it is. It's a full lifestyle change. It's just like going vegan or vegetarian, or you start going to the gym and you start losing weight. People going to have something to say. People going to have their opinions. And you know what? Tell them, take them and shove them up their mango. How about that? And so the main thing is just to be confident in who you are. And that is what shines through. That is what people love to see. It's the freedom. It's the not giving a mango. It's the being able to get up and go. When I tell you being able to get up and go, did you just see them photos? That, y'all, I had so much hair on my head. I didn't know, I knew what I was doing. Don't get me wrong, right? That's why it got that long, because I took care of my hair. I know what I'm doing. But I was tired of it. Like I said, that was my fourth big chop. And that was the longest I went without cutting it. Actually, it was about 5 years. And then I cut all that color off. And that's when I started these locks. And honestly, I can already see that these locks gonna be down my back in no time, because I literally just started these locks probably around September of last year. And although you see them here already, they shrunk up to my head and everything, but the fact that I can see how fast my hair is growing and I have to interlock my hair every 4 to 6 weeks, I just know in about a year's time, it's going to be crazy. And so I'm excited about my hair actually going down instead of up. Although I do miss my afro. My afro was always like my thing or whatever. But now these locks are going to be my thing. And this is what I'm doing now. This is the season that I'm in, and I'm happy about it. And yeah, that's all that matters. Like, do what you want to do. Don't worry about all this worldly stuff, because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror. So if you look in the mirror and you say, I don't like these locks because you don't like them, then you don't like them. But if you look in the mirror and you say you don't like them because somebody else said it's not what's in, or somebody else said, oh, it don't look good on you, or, oh, I like you better when you had your hair out. Oh, I like you better when you look better when you, and mango you, and you fill in the mango. You fill in the mango you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? Because all that matters is how you feel about yourself. Okay? So you have to take that into consideration, because I feel like that's the most important thing. People start their locks and then they start to looking in the mirror, and then they get on Instagram, they get to scrolling, and they see the curly hair, they see the wigs. You can still do the wigs. You can still get a curly wig. You can still pull that off. But baby, what I'm trying to do when I go on this vacation is not worry about no wig and not worry about nothing else. when I go on these vacations, because I am a traveler, because I am a swimmer, I am a scuba diver, and I love to do those things, right? I don't have to worry about none of that. I'm not about to be worried about no salt water eating up my lace glue. Do you understand me? I am excited. You have no idea. I'm ecstatic about being able to get into the ocean and not worry about my dang on hair. All right? So, yeah, I'm done rambling and I am done preaching to y'all. I really hope that you make the right decision for you, because that's all that matters, right? The decision that you make for yourself. If you have any questions, comment down below. And I'm going to stop rambling and running my mouth and hit that bell notification, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm about to show y'all what this is going to look like when I take it down. All right? Stay tuned. I'm feeling like Miss Silly right now, honey. Me and you must never part, my key. But look, all I do now is put a little mousse on my ends, because like I said before, I like my curly ends, and sometimes I have to comb them back out. But I was like, look, I combed this little piece right here and I was like, no, I'm over it. So you're just gonna see me put a little mousse on each end in the front part, because my back part of my head is a totally different texture, right? Not the same texture as what's in the front of my head. And I promise you, that little spot right there that y'all see is not a bald spot. It's just scalp. Okay, it's just pulling, and I'm gonna loosen that up. But I got the Most Def mousse, and that is, man, it's so moisturizing and it's so convenient. So when I do my curly styles like this, I always use the Most Def mousse. It's so lightweight and it got a hold on it and it don't flake. I don't have to worry about all that. So yes, I love using this. In my next video, I'm actually gonna do the perm rod set, so y'all can see the curly lock look. That's my favorite. They call me Medusa. Okay. But yeah, let me show y'all how this came out. Stay tuned. And here I am just hydrating my ends with some mousse, and I'm going to spritz a little water. I don't like when it looks frizzy, so I'm just going to make my ends curl up a little bit, and then I'm going to be on my way.